Hey, did you ever see this? They keep a table full of fake food over here. I've never known why. Actually, I think it might be real food coated with shellac or something. Preserved. Oh, and look, this tentacle-looking thing is half-eaten. This is some meal. This is someone's meal they didn't finish? I dare you to take a bite. You first. Okay. Whoa, hold on, I'm just kidding. If Sam and Ida preserved this half-eaten meal, it must have been pretty important to them, right? Maybe it belonged to someone they care about. Like a beloved uncle had a mid-meal stroke, so they kept it in his memory. Yeah, like these sunflower seeds my folks left behind. Oh. I'm sure your folks are fine, though. Are you worried about them? Yes. It's weird that they just disappeared. Yeah, listen. That's okay to be worried. You're doing fine. Weird. Somehow I thought it was his truck. And delivery and all. It was. That's what she's saying, but he gave it to her before they took him away. But you're going to deliver it anyway? Why? He's my friend. He needs my help to finish this job. That's right, he's our friend too. Johnny and I will help you unload when we get there. Lift with your legs, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. So, how was everything? How was the sweet cave snail? Devastating, you're a killer, Ida. Well, I can't take all the credit. Sam came across a whole cave snail colony down there about a year back, and we've been leaving rock candy for them to gorge on since. We just started harvesting earlier this month. Yes, it's all about patience down here. Everything grows more slowly in the dark. There's a fish in Lake Leth that lives for 200 years, and its flavor profile only develops at about 75. I've got a pot of bones in there that's been stewing for at least a week. I don't even remember why I put them on, come to think of it. I don't even remember what kind of bones they are. Oh, we need one for the road. Clara said she wanted, something primordial? She said, what does that mean? Kate reviews the menu. I think she meant something from deep within the lake. Ah, could be. Here, you pick. I'm no good at this. Shannon inspects the menu. She'd probably like... the Sweetwater Cuttlefish spread. Good choice. Your friend will love it. I'll have that right out, sweetie. As opposed to all the other menu options that suck, that she'll admit to being garbage. Ezra leans over the table and carefully examines the preserved food and drink. He gently compresses a pea-sized eyeball on the plate. The eye is hard, like glass. Oh, you like candied fish eye? Most kids are repulsed just looking at them, which is a shame, because they're really delicious. I have a bowl of them in the kitchen. I'll bring some out. Sorry I startled you, sweetie. Why is it hard? We covered it in shellac. You know what shellac is? It's bug wax. This food is about 15 years old, it's true. Things were different then. Nobody came to eat here. We were fighting just to keep the lights on. Sam, My husband, Sam, was depressed. He couldn't catch anything. That was part of the problem. Most of what we served was shipped and frozen or dried, and I just threw it in the fryer. We'd both come a long way since then. Well, 2 young men came here for dinner. Seasoned divers, they said. Over 10,000 hours between them in Lake Lethe alone. They'd been out all day, salvaging parts from a riverboat wreck, and had worked up a fierce hunger. They said. They ordered the whole menu, without even looking. It was a short menu in those days. I sat them right here, went back into the kitchen. Sam was at the next table doing a Sudoku and drinking malt liquor, his usual routine at the time. An hour later, I was cleaning up, when Sam came bursting into the kitchen. "Ida," he said, kind of frantic. "These divers are still hungry. Bring them another course." And I said, "They already ordered the whole menu." Sam said, "Make something new. Keep making up dishes, whatever, just keep bringing out food." So I did, until the small hours of the morning. I made up so many new dishes that night I could write a book. And it was good, inspired. But I was working so hot and fast, at the burning edge of inspiration. I didn't think to write any of it down. And I was so wrecked with exhaustion the next day, I knew I couldn't remember what all I'd done in the kitchen. Sam thought we could take a photograph with leftovers, but we couldn't get the lighting right, so he just shellacked the whole table. Now, when I need inspiration for the menu, I come and look here and think about all those ingenious dishes I threw together for those deliveries. For those divers. Of course, they didn't pay their full bill. I heard one of them complaining to the other. "Let's just pay half and let them charge the other half to whatever demon in the kitchen kept making up food faster than we could ask for it." That doesn't make any sense. But it all worked out. Things have really turned around since then. This place is actually pretty popular now. The success and our expanded menu inspired Sam too. He started bringing back the most magnificent ingredients from those nightly dives. I'd better get to work. Stay right here, sweetie, and I'll bring you a treat on my way back out. A candied eye. Oh, Sam is back from a dive. Now we know what that was earlier. What the fuck? It's alive still. Okay, it's just a long fish. It's got a little, I can see a little fin sticking out. So it's just a really big, long fish. Maybe an eel, I guess. "Well, buddy, I guess you're the catch of the day. The one and only." "So what are you? You look like some kind of eel, I guess. Kind of like a mopey little guy, huh?" "Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You smell like sort of buttery. Well, that should be just fine. Skin feels like sandpaper. Huh. Well, she'll figure something out. Think I'll call you..." "A deep eel. Welcome to Sam and Ida's the one and only deep eel. I hope you enjoy your stay. I mean, not too much. Have you ever seen a creature like me before? You're pretty far down there. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first, except there were 2 divers who went before me, long ago. Maybe that was before your time. How old are you anyway, I wonder? They ate here once, back in the old days. 2 young guys. Could have been brothers, maybe. I was over in the corner with my coffee and crossword. That's not the same thing as a Kadoku. I haven't been able to catch a thing, so I just fried up something from frozen. Well, these guys were hungry enough to eat it and ask for more, and they did at least as much talking as eating. See, like I said, they were divers, and like I said, they might have been brothers. They had a kind of rivalry going between them or something. Ida was about to write up their check, but I slipped calmly and quietly into the kitchen for a minute and told her to just keep bringing out food. I figured they wouldn't notice, caught up in their boasting as they were, and I wanted to listen. They went back and forth for hours about all the deep and dangerous dives they'd been on, new tunnels they'd discovered, all the weird creatures they'd encountered at the weirdest depths of Lake Leth. It was like a dance. No, like a boxing match. Each story went deeper than the last. And I listened to every word of it, memorized every description of every tunnel and driving route they discovered. That's my map now, you see? For 15 years I've been using routes those two divers discussed right there at the table. Yeah, I could write a guidebook to the depths of this lake, but I don't dare. Someone would steal my good diving spots, and then where would we be? See, people come here from all over just to try our daily catch, because they know it's unique. Ain't you proud? Since I can't write any of it down, I just preserved that table where they had their meal, so I can look at it to jog my memory, like they were eating pickled crab when they talked about that shipwreck full of salamanders. Pretty clever, huh? It's my own secret code. Well, I'll be straight with you, Deep Eel. There is one feature of this arrangement that I find unsettling. In fact, I lose a decent amount of sleep over it. I told you those boys were competing, right? One-upping each other, I mean, each getting wilder and more adventurous as they traded tales. Well, I navigated mostly in the dark down there. Just going by touch and a kind of mental picture I can construct from their detailed boasts. And every time I explore a new diving spot from those recollections, I have to weigh it all against the risk that I'm heading right into a dangerous falsehood. One of those men could have felt for a moment that he was losing some ground in their little duel, so he could have slipped a fake one in there. Maybe told a fib about some dive he went on and found a colony of blind shrimp living in a discarded refrigerator. And when I get down there, my diving bell cracks open on a sharp rock where he said the fridge would be, and that's the end of Sam and Ida's. To be honest, that possibility puts the fear of death in me every time I touch water. Well, that's terrifying. Exactly my fear, being lost in the depth of water. I could definitely never do this job. Ugh. We've seen what happens when I'm asked to dive in deep, dark water, and it's not a good feeling. Oh, fuck, that expansion's gonna be done one day. Maybe they'll just keep developing it for like 12 more years. Hey, Sam, good haul tonight? We'll see what she can make of it. Yeah, pretty good, I think. I hit some trouble down on my narrow tunnel. Some kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. I picked a wave for half an hour before I gave up and went the other way. But I got the catch of the day. That's the important part. That's what people travel for. Pretty cold here for diving, isn't it? The cold I can handle. I've got an oil heater in the diving bell, and if it's really bad, I might take a nip of something here and there. Will you stay for a drink? I've got a dark rum that goes well with coffee. I think we're about to leave, but thanks. Just passing through. Hey, aren't we all? Oh, she's got your food ready. You all enjoy your meal, all right?
This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures and my hopes are placed beyond the blue. Many friends and kin have gone and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. I have a loving mother up in glory land, and I don't expect to stop until I shake her hand. She's waiting now for me in heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not.
She's frustrated. And she can't just let it be. She has to go back and she has to track them down. See that? Just looks like a swirling mess of garbage, doesn't it? Well, that's what it is. I don't know why trash seems to collect right here. Of all the spots in the lake, it's always been that way. Everyone just navigates around it, like it was an island or something. So they're just going back out. They don't have Conway or Shannon now. All of the side characters that we've met along the way, all coalescing into one boat. I'm kind of curious. Are we just going to diverge? I almost wonder if we never see these characters again after chapter 4, and then then it becomes Conway and Shannon again in the finale or something, or not. Interesting seeing two different perspectives, or both of the husband and the wife both took inspiration from that encounter with the divers, but in different ways. One of them just innovates from scratch and takes pride in it. The other steals secrets, and his reward is fear. Look closely and you can see some wood scraps from the old canoe rental shop. Gemini Canoe and Firewood. The place was run by twin sisters, Cassie and Paula, I think. This was years ago. They used to rent out canoes to tourists, campers, pilgrims, folks like that. They must have had some kind of deal with the distillery. You'd always see a couple of Hard Times boys posted up on the dock, peddling small bottles to their customers. Cassie and Paula worked on those old canoes to death, wrung every penny out of them. They'd only take one out to commission when it was truly, demonstrably dangerous. They didn't get a refund unless your boat was visibly taking on water. Oh, and you couldn't get a refund unless your boat was visibly taking on water. The side business in firewood was a stroke of minor genius. Yeah, this cluttered place makes a decent local museum. It's as good as history as I could ever tell. We arrived at a small houseboat neighborhood that sometimes hosted concerts for the pleasure of its residents, where Clara was scheduled that night to perform. Junebug and Johnny watched the show from the dockyard with the others. It's a theremin. Oh. I remember this. I told you Yeah, you don't have to say it. Only because it's always true. He played at the flower shop. Cyrano opened. He was having trouble with his tape machine, so he just droned out on the lap steel. He got really into it. It went on for like forever. Everyone was falling asleep. Not everyone. I remember the air was warm, perfumed. You were playing with some petals you found on the floor, and I was looking at the ceiling. I remember the ceiling was glass. During the week, the room was a greenhouse. I don't know where they put all the plants when they had bands in. Maybe outside if the weather was nice. It was nice that night. Warm. Smelled like spring. I remember the folding chairs. So uncomfortable. But I guess it was their only option. They had to pack everything up during the week so there'd be room to display the flowers. The tape stuff sounds good. That kid's doing a good job. Yeah? He's a natural-born tape player. So, we were talking about him earlier at the gas station. Sure, I haven't forgotten Cricket. Cool, yeah, I know. What do you think about Ezra traveling with us for a while? We were in the back. Kind of looking around, people watching. I remember... a bearded guy sleeping in a chair with a bowl of chili in his lap. He seemed cool. You were a little put off by the smell, the chili I mean. It was obviously spiked. Even in that fresh, fragrant greenhouse, the boozy fume stung a little. I've heard of cooking chili with a little bit of vodka, but that guy must have been making a chili cocktail. Like a Bloody Mary with beans. Ugh. I would have been content to just sit there in that folding chair and drift on Cyrano's lap steel sound waves, but you were feeling restless, so we went for a walk. If I sound hesitant or something, it's just... when I met you, when we met, we were nothing. Just these little gray shadows, and we grew and filled in, and we did all that together. Ezra, he's just a kid, but he's already a person. What would that do to our system, our chemistry? We took a wrong turn in the hallway and ended up in the basement. I remember the air was cool and damp, like a cave. I remember the lingering perfume of the greenhouse giving way to an earthly plant smell, like we were digging down into the roots. A grimy door in the corner caught my eye. I remember the door was stuck. There was a large gap underneath it. You reached your arm under the door. Came back with a handful of dirt and confetti. I shined a light under the door. Through the gap, I could see only brightly colored paper. You forced the door. It wasn't as stuck as we thought. The door burst open and we fell through. Hey, I got the masters for the new record back from Laser. They're okay, but I... What? You listened to them without me. You were at the pet shop. I didn't think I could tear you free. Oh. Okay. Anyway, there's a few spots where the strings distorted a little, and the whole thing has way too much reverb, but overall it sounds pretty good. The new drum machine fits right into the mix. Nice. The only question is how to do it live. I can't control the drum machine and sing and dance at the same time, and you've got your hands full on guitar. We switched on the lights. The room was crowded with colorful wreaths for births, quinceañeras, weddings, and funerals. Celebratory wreaths. There was something kind of sad about it. We got back to the greenhouse just as Clara was turning up. She relaxed her shoulders, took a deep breath, raised both hands into their precise positions, and the room started shaking. Clara hit a note that made the glass rattle in sympathy, a perfect 2 octaves lower. She looked like a sorceress, tearing down the building with an effortless wave of incredible focus, coaxing the empty air into some kind of moaning, rattling demon. That's the thing about the theremin, it's the only instrument you can never touch. You could see a wave of concern propagating through the greenhouse. People looked up at the trembling glass ceiling, looking at each other as if to see if everyone else was worried, trying to catch Clara's eye and discern if she was doing it on purpose or not, if she were really trying to bury us all in glass. I'm just saying, maybe we could use a third pair of hands up there. Oh. Oh. Think you could teach that kid to play a drum machine? Ma'am, I could teach a dog to play a drum machine. Well, that'll be our backup plan. It was a tense 5 minutes. We, the audience, alternated between fearing for our lives and lamenting hers that could have given her the kind of emotional experience to play this devastating song. Then, slowly, gently, Clara's hands came to rest. The theremin went quiet. The glass stopped rattling, and the room relaxed, unharmed. The only instrument that you don't touch. Except the drum machine, maybe. I met a photographer once, I mean, one in particular. She even took my portrait. I can't imagine why. She said it would immortalize me. That was a metaphor, of course. She meant I'd never be forgotten. As she was disembarking, not far from here actually, the film fell out of her bag and was borne away by the current. I was working on deck at the time. She shot me a sad, apologetic glance, but I wasn't bothered. It's no shame to be forgotten. Ooh, cool staircase. One of my primary memories of being deep underground is this fucking welded iron staircase just like that one. Area in California called the Moaning Cavern. Listen, you got this. Oh, the Silo of Light Reflections. We've heard of that place. Yeah, it's this big vertical staircase that it's welded together so it's all one continuous piece. What's this place like, Dogwood Drive? It's in a small town, or... I really don't know. I've got the manifest the old man had in his truck, here. Lysette's Antiques. Mail order delivery. No return address. Shipping address 5 Dogwood Drive. Packing list? And then it's just numbers. I guess the inventory numbers of the antiques he was supposed to be delivering. Anyway, I'm glad you're coming with us. Yes. I'm always eager to see more of the country, and I enjoyed the company. I will have to find a bus or train to get on to Nashville by evening. Well, they have buses everywhere, right? Or, hey, I could drive you to Nashville. Seems I have a truck now, only... How are we gonna get it up these stairs? So that's what Shannon did. She took off so she could go pick up the truck and figure out how to get it wherever the fuck I am right now. I'm not really sure how that worked out, honestly, or where we are, or what's going on with that, like, geographically. There's no way to get this truck up these stairs, is there? Not with that attitude. No, there isn't. Looks like we're making the rest of this trip on foot. I don't even know what's in there. What if it's too much to carry? Nah, we've been loading and unloading gear since the stars were young. We're our own roadies, right? We got expertise. Alright, Cricket. Let's get this delivery packed and tied to bundles. We're hiking it upstairs. What's in there? Antiques, I guess. Antiques. Yeah, antiques are... It's like junk, but people will pay for it. Oh. Sorry, I guess I'll be taking the bus after all. It's okay. It'll be an adventure. Shannon sighs and stretches. Tired? Don't worry, lady, we're almost there. It's a good thing we got 2 robots. This is supposed to be the silo? Oh. Because it's going into the rock ceiling. And then it must go all the way to the surface via that tunnel. And that's why it's the silo of late reflections. It's a cavern that echoes back. End of Act 4. That's rough. He's really dedicated to this mission, and to some extent you could argue, like, it just can't be that important of a mission to justify all this. It's just a delivery, right? But then you find out all of his baggage and why, like, this is the end for him. And so he needs it because he derives purpose from it, but then he doesn't get to make it because he gets wrapped up in all this bullshit. But all the people he touched along the way, directly and indirectly, the community is going to pick up where he left off. We'll see.